Hi there, welcome to Practitioner Perspective. I'm Dan Goodstein. I'm here today with David Taylor. David is the Director of Digital Transformation Solutions at Samsung and one of the speakers for our upcoming Digital Convergence Conference. David, good to be with you today. Before we
Thanks for
jump
having
in,
me.
if you could give a little bit of background on yourself and your current role.
Yeah, so my name is Dave Taylor. I'm the Director of Technology over at Samsung SDS America. My background is I've done a lot of different things from, broadcast digital video and, television networks to digital signage. And now I'm on a digital transformation team here at Samsung SDS, where we're transforming people from paper to digital for like ad networks and different things like that.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting space. So let's start with the tech, right? What technologies are you guys using, and is there any technologies that you see as kind of key to transformation out there right now?
Yeah, so a lot of the technology that we work with at Samsung is video displays. We're having the video displays. Obviously, mobile is a big one. We're also using cameras for doing different kinds of tracking and facial detection, so we can trigger different ads depending on who's standing in front of the display.
So what's your sense as to people's feedback, consumers out there, right? Where are you on this debate of the privacy versus the convenience or the catering of an ad to things that you actually care about?
Yeah, that's the mix that we're always battling in the industry is, you don't want it to be creepy, but you also want to be able to tailor the message to someone. When people are on the internet and using their phones and their computers, all their ads are tailored right to them, whether they realize it or not. And I know a lot of the times they're like, oh, that's weird. I was talking about this yesterday, now it showed up on my screen. So that's the one thing we're sort of trying to avoid, but we're also trying to make it so it's targeted for the advertiser to get their message to the right customer.
Yeah, absolutely. So that you're going to be speaking at our event, and the topic of the panel is the art and science of the digital experience, right? So I think a lot of people kind of get the science part, but so where does the art come in the conversations and the work that you do?
Yeah, the science part is easy, right? Um, that's the technical side of it. But yeah, the art of it is basically trying to make it so it just fits in, where it's not in your face, and it's the blend of the technology with the displays. So that way, the perfect ad is to the perfect person or the perfect group of people. Um, that's the art of it, is trying to have meaningful content that displays what you're trying to advertise to the group of people that are in front of your video screen at the time.
So what's the biggest challenge related to implementing this stuff? Is it a technical challenge, or is it more of a people centric thing?
It's the technical side's getting a lot easier nowadays. It's more the people side of who makes the content. A lot of times, budgetary issues or different things. When you're planning for these campaigns, you're getting, everybody's talking about, you're gonna get 10 different pieces of content and different things like that. But then when it comes down to it, you really get like 3 still ads, so you get like one for male, one for female, and one for a couple, say. And instead of like a nice moving video or something more appealing, because the budgetary cuts just keep getting cut down.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is I'm dying to ask you this actually, before I looked at your profile. So you've done some really cool things. You've done some things in the entertainment space, in the sports space, media, retail. So what does the future look like? I've heard these stories about certain airports, I think Toronto and some others, where you walk in, they know who you are, they identify you, they cater the experience to you, they automatically order your favorite Starbucks that's next to the gate, right? Um, is that the exception, or what does it really look like if you play this out 5, 10 years?
Yeah, it's funny. We've been discussing a lot of stuff, especially for like retail locations, car dealerships, even movie theaters and theme parks as well as cruise ships, where you'll just walk on and your identity is known already by your facial or even biometrics sometimes. A lot of it's transforming from, say like even like paper and credit cards in your in your wallet. Now it's all on your cell phone.
Sure.
So a lot of it, like those cell phone's going to be the portal to everything, I think. And and then a lot of the facial recognition and stuff is going to be really big in the future.
So if you think about, I mean, a lot of industries, certainly retail, media, but I think I have a background in the advertising space. And one of the biggest challenges I think with digital is how do you quantify the results? How do you measure how many eyeballs is looking at something? How do you quantify the ROI? Have you guys figured any of that out?
Yeah, so we work with a company that has a facial analytics software that, with all of our digital advertising agencies that we work with, like, because we'll build custom units and such for advertisers to deploy and then sell content on. So what they do is they have this facial analytics that can tell you how long someone looked at the ad, how many people looked at your ad, how many people just passed by and had the option to see your ad. So there's a lot of technologies as well for like when you're driving past billboards on the highway and such that are getting cell phone signal and such. So they're able to tell if you passed by that ad, and then also if you went to the retailer that was advertising at that time.
Oh,
So
wow.
they can geo-track it, and make sure to see if there's a return on that investment.
And if you think about some of the different industries you've worked in, are there particular examples where there's similarities from industry to industry, or there are key differences if you move from retail to media, for example?
Well, I've always been more of a technical person, so it stayed pretty similar, and then just the software was different, really. I ran a billboard in Times Square, which we did a lot of advertising on when I worked at American Eagle, but then I also did all the in-store video, throughout their stores around the world. So I was controlling it all from New York City or home, sending content to all those displays around the world. So the one thing that has changed is it's a lot less, you don't have to be in the office now to do a lot of things. A lot of it's done from your computer or, anywhere.
Yeah. So if I'm at Giant Stadium and that screen gets hacked, you're the one that's responsible for it. Is that right?
Yeah, right. I'm lucky enough not to do that one, but yeah. But I've done a lot of stuff like that where we've done systems in stadiums as well as Times Square, Las Vegas, all those large screens. And it's funny because a lot of the times when you see the screens hacked like that, it was a stunt done by a paid advertiser.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe last question, David, is if you think about maybe a customer, maybe a retail company or a media company, one of these companies you've worked with, or one of these companies you haven't worked with, and they're just trying to start out, they're maybe more traditional. What's your advice as to how do they kind of start to get on the right path here?
I think it's a lot of joining and going to different associations and meeting with people that have done it already. I think it's hard. If you can find the right people to talk to, it could be easier. Because I feel like a lot of sales type people will just try and sell you their product, push you in their direction. So I think when you join these different associations and start meeting with different people and going to different trade shows and such, you can talk to different people and get user groups where they've used the products and they can give you their honest opinion on what they think works best and what doesn't work best.
Yeah, the community factor. Well, obviously, we agree with that. And if anybody wants to talk with you more, David, look forward to seeing you at the upcoming event.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'm open to talking to anybody.
Sounds good. David, thanks for being with us.
All right, thank you.
All right.